Chairman of the JFF's technical committee, Rudolph Speid, has been appointed interim head coach of the Reggae Boyz. Confirmation of the appointment came from the JFF Friday afternoon following deliberations by the board. They decided that Speid will assume the role of head coach effective December 15, 2025 until March 31, 2026.
It is now known that Mr. Rudolph Speid will be the interim manager of the Jamaica men's national team. But the fact is that when his appointment was being talked about and confirmed, the fan base wasn't having any of that. However, the noise have been lowered, and coming December, Mr. Speid will be in full gear to get the team up and running. But there is this one particular person, Jamaican of course, that is never, and I don't think will ever be a fan of Mr. Speid. Who am I talking about? Mr. Butler. And seeing that himself and Mr. Speid will not be friends, there are two particular players that came through the management of Mr. Butler. And I'm wondering if these two players will ever play under the management of Mr. Speid. Who am I talking about? Stick around for the details. Greetings and welcome to another episode on Premier 7, everyone. I am your host, Ryan Nelson, coming to you today with a very important topic relating to the Jamaica men's national team. The fact is that I understand that the disappointment continues, seeing that Jamaica did not qualify automatically from, in quotation, a soup group, but we still have a chance to make it to the World Cup. Now, of course, people, the importance of today's video is all about two players in particular, in a Leon Bailey and a Dujuan Richards. With the topic, Bailey and Richards, would they play under Rudolph Speid? How discipline can elevate Jamaica? Now, people, before I dive into this important topic, let me know what you think about the two players playing under the management of Rudolph Speid. Then again, if you're new to Premier 7, people, please go ahead and subscribe, because this video is one that I pull out of the hat again. This is a magical type of video selection, and I would love for persons to be aware of my own thoughts surrounding these two players. Then again, if you're already a subscriber of Premier 7, people, you know what to do. Continue to interact with the videos that are being posted. Now, the topic, you're seeing it below, and I mean, it is very important to note that no one is ever bigger than a team. No one is bigger than the coach. And the fact is that knowing that these two players, they are Mr. Butler's players, would they feel comfortable playing under a Rudolph Speid? But the fact is that my question would have been to these two players, what is the legacy that you guys have playing as Jamaican players? What will be the legacy of you guys playing for Jamaica? And there will be none, because Jamaica has not made it to the World Cup, and we still know that we have a chance. So discipline is what I am here to talk about. Do you know about this Jamaican type of talk like growing up, that if my parent and let's say my aunt isn't talking, you could use different examples in that case. The child still have to show respect to that particular person. Don't you know about that? And I am speaking about this in the case that to say, even if Mr. Butler and Mr. Speed are not friends, Bailey and Whisper should not be mixed in that. Bailey and Whisper should not be mixed in that. Because we are here more so to talk about Jamaica making it to the World Cup. And the fact is that we still have a chance. Many persons are saying then that New Caledonia, we should just breeze past them. Well. Let's see if it is a possibility when that particular time comes around in March. Now, the case of Rudolph Speid, now interim coach. Remember now, he will take his position in December. But the announcement was made after Steve McLaren left. So we're seeing here, just to reflect and reiterate from the FIFA page, that Jamaica appoints Speid for FIFA playoff tournament. We have to understand though that Mr. Speid have a very legendary type of career as a Jamaican local coach. And the fact is that Mr. Speid is like a gem in the space because he has enjoyed great success in Jamaica football, winning the domestic league title in 3 of the past 4 years with Cavalier SC. He also guided the club to the 2024 CONCACAF Caribbean title. Now, let's not talk about the past, whereas Mr. Speid, some persons would say, appoints himself. Some persons would say, like myself, he should not receive that post because, maybe the conflict of interest talk, but that is already through the door. It is time to make Jamaica a better nation in football. And yes, we know that he have been in that role to, you know, recruit or interview managers and coaches, for which that did not went well. But it is time to see what he can do as a coach. And with a person like Mr. Rudolph Speid then, being able to win a few trophies, 3 out of 4, winning the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup, that shows that his levels is different. Some persons would be calling back for a Theodore Whitmore, but Mr. Whitmore prefers to remain where he is, coaching at the local level. Doesn't want to do anything with JFF. So it is for Mr. Speid to get his bite. We know that Mr. Miguel Coly will be the assistant to a Rudolph Speid, and I'm going to touch upon that a bit more. So just stick around for more details in that case. But the case of Mr. Rudolph Speid, it shows then that him being the interim coach, for him to be winning, it has to be a case then that discipline would have been a part of his style. There'll be structure and there'll be tactical obedience. So despite the fact that Bailey and Richards was grown up inside the Phoenix Academy system, whereas they have that freedom of individual expression, freedom to be themselves, flair and skills, the fact is that no player is bigger than the national team. And we have seen the separation in terms of some players not being in agreement with coaches and you name it. But the environment that we want right now is one that have a structure, discipline, and obedience. We need that. The fact is that Coach Rudolph Speid, we know he's the strict type of person. He's orderly and he's direct. We know that his style of play isn't the best, but this man, if he's a coach, seeing that his team has won several trophies, it proves then that professionalism is there, accountability is there, and the fact is that maybe some person says that he's too strict, but at the end of the day, every successful national team has coaches that forces or enforces preparation, discipline, responsibility, and focus. So is it a good look that these players would have been successful if it wasn't for that system of Mr. Rudolph Speid? That would have been rhetorical. That would have been rhetorical. So, do you think that these two players, in Bailey and Dujuan Richards, would make sense? Would they play for Mr. Rudolph Speid? Well, let's talk about this. Leon Bailey on the Speid, a better version of himself. And I'm going to touch up on the players individually. Now, Leon Bailey is the most gifted attacking player that I have seen comes through Jamaican ranks. But the thing is, Leon Bailey is a player that I think it is a case of him not being concentrated enough to play for the national team because of maybe what is happening that we are not aware of. Yes, his interview was done in the past, but we want to get the best out of our players, and we're yet to see the best out of a Leon Bailey playing for Jamaica. We understand that this guy is is balanced in terms of pressing, scoring goals, and you name it. Aston Villa was that sting of his career, Leverkusen as well. But whenever he plays for Jamaica, his emotions are being shown. His head is down. He tries to take on the team by himself. The reason for this video is because I want to just get rid of the bad energy from now. And the thing is now, we know that Bailey doesn't tracks back well. Leon Bailey, as I've said before, tries to take up the game on his head, but this is going to be different and should be different on the Speid. Let's forget about the case of him being under the development of a Craig Butler. That is a past. Still like his father, but come on. The fact is that now, when Speid comes on board, we want for it to be a case of Bailey to stay disciplined defensively, control his emotion under pressure, maintain consistency across 90 minutes. Because Bailey is a player who loves to party as well, the Brazilian mentality. And the fact is that Bailey is an injury-prone player, but returning for Roma, we want to see more than just a party fanboy in a Bailey, but a professional player being more. And can Mr. Speid get that out of Bailey to help him to be more focused on his decision making instead of frustration? He's a team player, but when he plays for Jamaica, we can see the frustration. Lead by example for younger players. It is a huge task for Leon Bailey, but I think he would have already have that pressure on him. And should Bailey say, I'm not going to play for Speid, what more would you want to put on your name, Leon Bailey? If Mr. Speid calls you to play under the national team's management and guidance of him, as well as Miguel Coly, who is that man who will come like the middleman now, I think it would be a good example of what it means to have a mindset of wanting to build a legacy as a Jamaican player. The truth is, discipline wouldn't limit Bailey. It would elevate him into that leader that Jamaica needs. No, another one. Dujuan Richards on the Speid, sharpening the raw talent. I have heard persons saying that Whisper isn't all that. Persons who have went to the stadium to watch him play and having conversation with persons on my phone, they say Whisper isn't all that, but there are persons who say Whisper can become better, and Whisper is in Chelsea's academy. He is a better player than many. For me, without my emotions, he can become a better player. Whisper is extremely talented, but he's still young. He needs guidance, maturity, and tactical understanding. He needs those. I don't like to see players idling. We knew that himself, Whisper, and maybe a Cephas, I think, maybe others went to Taboo after Reggae Boyz. That's not good. These guys should be ashamed of themselves. But let's not talk about that too much. Let's see if these guys would want to rep the badge of Jamaica in the rightful way. Because it's a reality check for Jamaica. I am still suffering if I even look on a Curacao flag. I think I am more of a disciplined person than these players. But let's see. So the system of Mr. Speed now should make quicker decision in terms of helping Whisper to make better decision, understand movement of the ball, track opponents. And I think Whisper have that knowledge, seeing that how he plays in those cameo roles for Jamaica. And in that case now, help him to remain focused and avoid distraction off the pitch. But is it that these two players would want to listen to a Rudolph Speid? But remember, there's a Miguel Coly who could be the savior of these two players' career. And this now could improve the level of discipline and intelligence of a Dujuan Richards. The discipline would not destroy his creativity. It would sharpen it and make him twice as dangerous because he's already a dangerous player. The fact is that in the playoffs, raw talent alone won't win games, but discipline, maturity will do a lot. That will change everything. Both Bailey and Whisper, in that case now, could be a revolution for a career and for Jamaica. But guess what? It is more than just two players that will make Jamaica football better. It is a collective effort from the team. Now, Jamaica's playoff mentality, no room for noise. The best way to silence the doubters is by performance. Whether in school, whether out of school, in the workplace, on the football pitch, you have to do it by your performance. That is the easiest way to make persons start to change their mentality towards you. So the World Cup playoff isn't the Nations League. It isn't vibe. It isn't style points. It is pure discipline under pressure. One wrong cross, one lapse in concentration, one careless turnover, and the dream ends. For me, I think Jamaica will have it hard, but let's try again to believe that these players will, get us over the line. For continuity, that was the mentality or the decision made by the JFF to continue what was already there with these set of players. But we need more players. That is for different videos. So that's why the relationship between Speid and Butler cannot matter. Jamaica is the priority. No personality clash. Just like the Jamaican proverbs said earlier on, let me just say it as how it is. Even if parents not talk, the child must behave and do what's right. Bailey and Richard must adapt that mentality as of no, or as of even when they heard that Mr. Speid will be the man. If you guys want to have a legacy, the biggest legacy will not be playing for clubs, it will be playing for your national colors. Could they play on the Speid? Remember, we have Mr. Coly. Not Virat Coly, but Mr. Miguel Coly. Yes, they can play on the Speid because the form of the players will say a lot. It's not about the name of the players, it's about those players who are performing. It's time for those in charge of Jamaica football to start taking it very more serious because we as fans, we're exposed to football on a world stage. And we now know that playing football by way of flair doesn't gets the job done. Goals win matches. So these players can play under Mr. Speed. There's nothing but that we can say about Mr. Speed's track record. 3 titles in 4 years, Caribbean Cup in the CONCACAF region as a champion. Yes, he may not be at the international level. He may not have the license of other prestigious coaches, but isn't it a case to me then, or to you, that he's like a Dwight York? Based on levels, maybe it's higher. But Mr. Speed doesn't have those experiences outside of the region. But Mr. Coly does in Qatar. Can these persons be a dual dynamo in the Caribbean region? Why is it then that Mr. Speed wasn't the man at first sight then? Because the goal was to get Mr. McLaren to recruit overseas players to make Jamaica football great. But Mr. Speed, I think he's smart enough, based on his previous rules. Maybe he still have the rules until, of course, that particular time, to recruit players. I then believe then that he have what it takes to get even players that we want to see coming in. Some defenders in, some midfielders in, some forwards in, more coaches. But the fact is that the focus is on these two players today, Leon Bailey and Dujuan Richards. They can play under Mr. Speed, but discipline is the foundation. Why? Because their career should benefit from it, maturity should benefit from it, and Jamaica should benefit from it. We want all to be combined. At this stage, representing the country isn't about who trained you or who liked you. It's about professionalism, legacy, national pride, responsibility, unity. Speed gives discipline, Coly gives balance, and together they can create an environment where Bailey and Whisper can flourish. It should not be about who is a bigger man here or I am more than you. It should be a level playing field. Mason Greenwood, maybe he's going to be a player of controversy. But I talked about Greenwood before. This is not about him. So, people, what's your thoughts in the comment section? What do you think? What do you think? Do you think that it is a possibility? I'm not here for the nice talk. I am here to talk about house cleaning matters from now. Because I want to see Jamaica qualify, but the dream is still alive, but the reality check that we got, it is still on me. Because then again, I believe that we could have qualified. But because of Curaçao's system, they surpassed us. People, your thoughts on the topic, people. Bailey and Richards, would they play on the Rudolph Speed? How discipline can elevate Jamaica? I think I've said enough. I think I have said enough. Discipline says a lot. It says a lot about who you are and how far you will even go in this life. So talent gives you hope, but discipline wins the big game. People, it's time for me to go. You all take care. Goodbye until we meet again.